What's going on, everybody? Going to be a recap of the trading day today for ES and NASDAQ. It was a very busy day. We had quite a few setups today. Let's go ahead and get started. With ES, we were looking for holding above 6,200. We were looking for 62, 35, and 50. We did hit that 35 target. That 50 target was more of a zone from 35 to 50, but we did not get to that 50, so it stalled out a little bit early. To the downside, holding below 6,200, we're looking for 174 and 151. The 174 is the value low of yesterday, which we actually did start retracing, but we did not finish that retrace. That did start a incomplete auction because you started the retrace, you did not finish into that 174. So the remainder of that retrace, going from 183 to 174, is now an incomplete auction. So we'll keep an eye on that for Monday. And then on NASDAQ, we were looking for holding above 690. We were looking for 800 and 880. 800 was hit. We did not get to that 880. Holding below 690, we were looking for 557, which once again, we did not finish that retrace. So we have a little bit of an incomplete auction there, going down to that 557. We did bounce pretty aggressively into the close. Let's go ahead and take a look at some setups that we talked about throughout the day, either on the live stream or in the Discord. The first major setup was that pullback into that support and resistance level. We had a support come in around like 08, turned into VWAP there. If I go back to the 1 minute on our VWAP chart over here, let me show you. We had that pullback into VWAP around, looks like a 940, about 940. He broke VWAP, pulled back into it, and then he started launching off of that level. Very aggressive buy all the way up to about 10:12 in the morning. And then after that, we had a rollover top come in, rollover top around 28, which was around 10:22 in the morning. And that did look really good. The rollover top was pretty much spot on, very clean pattern, but there was a headline that came out there. I can't remember off the top of my head what that headline was. There was a bullish headline that came out. I think it was a potential trade deal, I think it was. Trade deal with somebody. I can't remember what it was. But it did pop up and kind of invalidated that trade. Ended up being a break-even trade. You were bouncing right off of VWAP around that time anyway, so it was kind of killing that on the bounce. The next one was around 11:30, and that one was a break of balance. So until 11:30, you were kind of ranging, balancing out. Value high was around 28 to 30, and the value low was around 20 to 22, and you were just kind of going back and forth, rotating. And then around that 11:30 a.m. Eastern, you did start breaking that balance. So you broke the value high and you stayed above that value high with a pretty strong delta imbalance towards the high there. Then you had another bounce, which did bounce off a major level. I can't remember which level that was off the top of my head. I think it was either the developing value high or there was some kind of 24 EMA there. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it was bouncing off a major level here. It rebounded into it, and then you shot up into, I believe, what was high of day. Yeah, that became high of day there. And then from that point on, you had mostly bearish trades. So the one at 12:30 was a sweep trade. It swept by about 2 ticks. If I zoom in here, you can see you swept that prior 30-minute high by 2 ticks, and then you started getting a lot of bearish delta around that 36 to 37 area. Then you really started to get bearish delta around that 30 area, which was that headline. So bearish sweep there was a nice little short trade. Obviously stopped as high of day, and then you could target any kind of levels to the downside, like VWAP or value levels. Then we had another one around 114. That pullback, was that where the headline came out? I think the headline was around 140. I don't remember why I had that one marked out at 114. There was something that happened there. I think it was a failure of that prior level. There was a just a doji there, just a little market structure retest that ended up selling. I can't remember exactly what that level was, but just a retest of a level ended up being pretty bearish. Then we had the headline come out. The headline came out around 140. This was that trade deal with Canada. They basically said that trade negotiations with Canada are halted, and that started selling pretty aggressively there. And that continued all the way down till about 240 and 255. And this is where we started getting some pretty serious bullish divergence. Let me pull that up on our other chart here. So down here, we started getting a lot of bullish divergence on these lows here. Our momentum just kept going up as we were falling. And this was happening on not only the 1 minute, but it was also happening on the 5 minute as well. So 5 minute, we can see very strong down move here, but our momentum started to rise on that secondary bottom around 2:40 to 3 o'clock. So that was the last kind of major trade of the day, was that bull div. And that bull div, let me go back to my other chart here. That bull div also bounced beautifully off of that afternoon break. So we had an afternoon break on yesterday that we did not finish retracing. So that was the bottom of today, damn near to the tick. Same thing on NASDAQ. Repaired that bottom into 620. Repaired the breakout, the afternoon breakout, into 620, which became the bottom pretty much to the tick. And then we repaired today's afternoon break by bouncing off of that prior afternoon break. So it was a very good setup there. Repaired today's afternoon break, which was everything below 685 on NASDAQ and on ES below 202. Okay, so very clean bounce there, bouncing back into today's POC. And that was pretty much it for the day. This move up was pretty much all just started by that bullish divergence, which I believe also was on Delta. Yeah, we also had it on Delta as well. And for the rest of the day, you pretty much just rode the EMAs, the 24 and the 8 EMA into the close, spiking the bullish Delta the entire way up. So that was it for today. Those were all the trades that we called out on the live stream or in the Discord. If you guys enjoy this stream, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys on Monday. Peace, everybody.